Happy Saturday. It's cold in here, but crypto is warming us all up. I want to go over my favorite altcoins at the market at the moment and also to look like, hey, if they are doing very well right now, what could they do in a bull market, man? Because the bull market is coming. It's not completely there yet, in my opinion, but it's gonna be beautiful. So, like the video if you're in for some degen stuff, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and I'm having a cold, so I might do sometimes, but that's all part of the game. Tomorrow I will be dropping a very interesting video about 7 big gaming projects on Avalanche. And therefore I also have this in my screen right here. This is a project that I'm looking at. I don't want to buy it right now. I don't have a position right now, but I am interested in it. Why do I say that? This is Avalanche, and Avalanche is a launchpad on Avalanche. And as you know, I'm a big fan of launchpads. Launchpads do great. They give you insane returns. I've made a lot of money with launchpads so far. You can see engine starter, 4x from the bottom, give or take. Even GameFi is doing really well. See, the Fly is flying right now. Chain GPT is ripping at the moment, and Avalanche is not doing anything different. Avalanche, it came from 15 cents, give or take. It's now sitting at 54 cents. And it's funny because they haven't really announced new projects yet, but as far as I have seen, it might be the case that they are going to release Gunzilla. And Gunzilla is a project that I think is going to be enormous. And if it's possible for me to get into something like that, man, I will be really, really, really happy. So Avalanche, definitely keep your eyes on it. But, a couple of weeks ago, it had 116% pump. After that, a 13%. Now a 6% at the moment of recording. So it's for me at the moment not that I think like, oh yeah, let's get into this, because it's a little high right now. But it is something you should keep on your radar. Now, what's so cool about these, I don't want to say bear market rally, that sounds so negative, but about these, rallies during a market which is not completely bull yet, is that you can get a nice preview of what could happen in a bull. Because if this is already happening in this kind of market, then I feel like, hey, in a full-blown altcoin season bull market, yeah, it's gonna be fantastic, of course, right? So that's definitely something that I'm looking at. Now, very quickly, I want to talk about Bitcoin before we move on. As we all know, that Bitcoin is leading the market, right? If Bitcoin decides to go to 100K, hey, your altcoins be like, oh, okay, we'll come with you. If Bitcoin says like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to 20K again, altcoins be like, okay, we'll come with you, right? It's just what happens. Bitcoin is the big leader in all of this. So you always want to know what Bitcoin, if it's a little healthy, right? And a very good way to know if we're bullish or bearish is the bull market support band. The bull market support band, this is mainly because of the 21 exponential moving average. And in a bull market, you have to put it on the weekly, by the way, to see it. And in a bull market, you can see that we are holding up there really well. For example, in the last bull market, we were bouncing off this level, but we stayed above it, and this whole bull market support band dragged us all up. And once we really started to close below the bull market support band, you knew like, okay, pack your bags, it's time to sell. If you did that over here, you sold at $45,000. Well, considering where it went and to the bottom, it's definitely not a bad place. You wouldn't have exactly nailed the top, but you also did not ride the complete wave down. Now, as you can see, in a bear market, we tried to get above it, but it didn't work, and we got rejected the whole time. Now, since January, basically, Bitcoin is above its bull market support band. We were below it very briefly in August until October, but it couldn't really last because we weren't slapped down by it, right? Like, for example, right here, we approach it, we get slapped down. Here we approach it, we get slapped down. Right here, we approached it, but we maintained this whole level. So it was strength right there. And overall, we are really above it. So the bull market support band is a really good indicator. As of now, we can still dip towards like 31K and technically still be bullish. Huh? So in that case, I do expect that there will be a little pullback in the market, like I mentioned earlier in other videos. And that would be a opportunity. That would be an opportunity, right? Because what you can see as well is that Bitcoin always, it pumps, but has a good pullback. Pumps, pullback, pumps, pullback, pumps. Where's the pullback, right? Apart from this horizontal right here, that should be the, the support level. The bull market support band is coming in at around that point as well. And that could still happen even halfway December, maybe even end of December, right? But that should be a big opportunity for us, as altcoins will probably follow. And that can give us some nice entries. Now, what's also interesting is the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance has never even closed a week below the bull market support band since December last year. So for a year now, we have never closed below the bull market support. We wicked below it right here. We wicked into it right here, but we never closed below it. So although Bitcoin is super bullish, the Bitcoin dominance is even more bullish, right? So that does tell like, hey, it's not bad to have a bag of Bitcoin, as altcoins are overall not doing well against Bitcoin. And altcoins are doing well on the dollar pair, but it's mainly because Bitcoin is doing really good, really good. But nevertheless, let's talk a little bit about altcoins. So I've showed you a couple of Launchpad projects at the beginning of the video. Now, Seedify, for example, is a project that I think could do really well. Seedify is back with, releasing new projects. And let me show you something really interesting here as well. They are going to release a new gaming project. And yeah, to be honest, I think that crypto gaming is going to be huge. And we should take advantage of that by being early in those kind of projects. So the founder of Seedify just tweeted that Storm Warfare is going to release, and they're going to release as a gaming studio token, right? So there's more coming from them. So it's not just a card trading game in this case. They're gonna come with more stuff. And I've seen somebody in the Telegram group who said, yeah, card trading games, who really cares about that, right? Well, if you, for example, look at Gods Unchained, that's also just a card trading game. But look at the market cap of this thing. It is sitting at $85 million. And at the peak, it was even sitting at $250 million. Well, for a single card trading game, damn, that's definitely not bad. So this is for sure a project that I'm keeping my eyes on. And the graphics, they look pretty fantastic, by the way. This is just a cinematic trailer. This is more than just a cinematic trailer though. This is actual gameplay footage. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. And in a bull run, man, these kind of things, they moon hard. So Seedify is definitely something that I'm keeping my eyes on, stacking it. And although it just gave a 4x, I'm not selling that one. Now, ChainGPT is also something that's been ripping, man. It came from 3.5 cents all the way to 16, right? There was a 5x right there. Well, almost 5x. 4.5x. That's insane. Sorry. ChainGPT is, of course, an AI project. That's how it released. But it's also a launchpad now. And they release good projects on their launchpad. So, interesting. Now, through these kind of launchpads, there are a lot of projects that are being released. For example, Chappies. We invested, with what do you mean, but also me personally, in Chappies. And Chappies, if you put it on the daily chart, you can see it's quite new, right? But it's almost sitting at a 10x. It hit like a 12x or something like that, which is incredible, of course. Chappies is a social fi project, super low cap as well, and it basically rewards you to be involved in communities, and you can get rewards in Ethereum, in stables, in their own tokens. It's a very innovative project. Now there are a lot of interesting projects. DexCheck, for example, the ticker is DIC, and it's pretty stable as for now. You can just draw this line over here somewhere, give or take, whatever. You can just see that the floor is super strong, and this is kind of DEX tools, but way more expanded. So it's not even about the investings; it's also about the fact that crypto actually has better products these days than what it had like 4 years ago, and it's just cool to be a part of that. Open Fabric holding up pretty well. Solidus AI Tech doing really well. So a lot of interesting projects that are new and that hold up pretty good. We have Delesium. Delesium is a project that I spoke about quite a lot, especially last year as they had their node sales. If you got into such a node or multiple nodes, then you're making a very beautiful passive income right now. But on the open market, it looks like they bottomed quite hard. At around 1 cent. It's now sitting at 2.7 cents, and it's nothing more than a lower low and a lower high, I know, but it is finally showing some strength right here. We had 4 green weeks in a row. Let's see if this could be number 5. I don't know about that, but Delesium over the longer term, I do think that they just had a partnership with Microsoft. Man, it's super undervalued for what it does, and that's so beautiful about knowing about these projects. You know they have a partnership with Microsoft. You know that when it comes to the AI side, this is a freaking good project. You know that if you look at their game, AAA, listed on the Epic Game Store, that it looks beautiful. And it's super low cap, because a lot of people, they don't know about it. So yeah, I don't know. Interesting to keep your eyes on. Now, I have my DCA 2023 watch list, which I have to update again. There are a lot of projects like Playable Games, been ripping. I made a 4x something out of this. I took some good profits on this one, not gonna lie. Why? Because after such a hard run, yeah, it could always run harder. But then again, there were a lot of times that I can look back on and be like, I wish I took profits, man, and now I'm just doing it, right? I know there's a bull market in front of us, but hey, if I could take my profits right here, let's say it does go back here, well, that's far, but let's say it does go back a bit, right? And I can invest again, and that bull market is still coming. Yeah, man, I can only make more profits in that bull run. You have to be a little tactic about it. Altora is a project that I still think is super interesting. It's been holding up really good. It's been holding up really good. And this is in this is the type of project that is going to be used a lot during a crypto gaming bull run, and that's going to come, right? So Altora is a beautiful moonshot. Now tomorrow, like I said, I will drop a video about the 7 games, 7 very good, probably the 7 best games on Avalanche, and of course Avalanche itself is, it ripped as well, $8 to 25, give or take, almost did a 3x. Big resistance right here, right? So if you look at the chart, you could be like, yeah, okay, you know what? Well, let's take this here. The next big support for Avalanche, $15, $16, right? And I know it seems far away from the 21 where we are right now, but as you can see on the chart, nothing does this and then this, right? Mostly, if you look at a chart like this, it does something like this, right? Best case scenario before it goes up. Or it does something like this. Could also happen, but that $15, give or take, Avalanche is a very good DCA in my opinion, right? The thing is, half a year ago, I wouldn't have said that. And why is that? Well, because half a year ago, Avalanche was not putting in higher highs, right? So there was a downtrend. Now it, confirmed a higher high. So the downtrend is over. At least the structure has changed, so now it's a lot safer for me to say like, hey, I can now put some good money in these projects, but I'm still waiting for the right price. Beam, man, Merit Circle, Beam. um, I think that this is currently at around a $300 million market cap. If you look at projects like Avalanche, which is more sitting like 8 billion, I think Beam could be a competitor. That's Avalanche 8 billion right now, right? That's bear market Avalanche. I'm not even talking about bull market Beam or anything like that. So with a $300 million market cap, hey, to make a lot of money in crypto, not everything has to start with $1 million market cap. Okay, that's something which is very important to know. If you, for example, go look at last cycle, and you go to Cardano to call something, right? Cardano made you a lot of gains right here. This whole area right here until here made you so much money. But where did you buy it? At $1 billion market cap, right? But you still could have made 100x because it went to 100 billion. Right? So projects with a $300 million market cap, they seem very high cap, but these are still the projects that can do 100x if you pick the right project. Now, I do think that Beam is definitely one of those. Basically everything in this list is what I'm very bullish on, or at least think is interesting. Games for a Living has been ripping, and like I showed you not too long ago, if you look the month, it never had a red month. That's so crazy about Games for a Living. It's been super strong. Good morning, fam. Moonshot by Cedify. This is a meme coin, and they don't do anything, but they're also below $1 million market cap. And I know that they are going to pivot somewhere next year, beginning next year. And what they're going to do exactly, I don't know. But they're going to add some utility to this. And with the Cedify team behind it, I do feel like, man, there are meme coins out there which have insane valuations, let alone a meme coin by a team which is leading the number one launchpad in the entire crypto space. So I feel like, yeah, if I gotta bet some money on meme coins, then it's gonna be this one, of course, right? Let's be honest. Illuvium, I don't like it. Why? Well, price-wise, it is sitting at major resistance right now. So I'm actually going to look if I can short it somewhere, because the RSI completely overheated. Big resistance right here. Clear range, by the way, but also purely because of the fact that it's just a single game, basically, with a market cap of almost $1 billion. I feel like at this moment, at this stage of the market, for just a single game, $1 billion valuation is quite high. Hey, at the top of the next bull run, it could happen, but at this particular moment, I don't know. Also, if you look like, hey, the all-time high for Illuvium was 1.2 billion, give or take. So it is kind of almost there already. So I feel like, yeah, what's there to win? Most people, they look at the price and be like, oh yeah, $100, but it went to 1,800. Yeah, but there were less tokens back then. All right, so if you compare market caps, we are quite close to the top already. Yeah, I'm not buying that right now. That's not worth it for me. IMAX, wow, my ears were like, I didn't hear myself. IMX ripping. I do have a bag of IMX a little bit, and I am also under the impression like, hey, we should take profits, but IMX is something, I don't know. The technology is too good. The technology is way too good. Like IMX is definitely the type of project that can go to a $40 billion market cap in the next bull run, with all the games being developed right there. If we get a crypto gaming bull run, this is your safest bet to make a good amount of gains for sure. Now, there are lower caps like Lit Lab. They were released by Cedify back in the day, and they performed really bad. So I got my refund, and now it just had a moonshot like crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend buying into something like this. Something that not a lot of people know about is Passage. Passage, search for it. PASG. It looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal, but they didn't really catch the hype yet. But I do have a small position just in case. Volker Forged is holding up. It is holding up. It broke out of this range. If we delete the mid range, you can see it better. It was in this range for a long time, 1.5 years, between $5 and 250. It broke out and it's holding there. It didn't even retest that 520 yet, really. So I feel like, man, with Vulcan Forge, I don't know. People are contributing their Vulcan Forge to run nodes so they can get lava tokens, and that takes away a lot of selling pressure. And yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if Vulcan Forge will ever have that big pullback though. Remark, interesting. Um, Kind of comparable with El Tora, basically, but 2 times as low cap almost. Remark, big hit in the last bull run. It's now sitting at $2.30. The last bull run was sitting at around $70. It came from 130, so it didn't even have that big of a pump that most projects had, but it was in this clear downtrend and now it broke out, retest, as you can see right here. So we'll see where this goes. But if it has a good pullback, I'm definitely interested. Yeah, Ronin chain, same, right? Like last bull run, we had Axie. Now we have Pixels as well, and there will be more like these huge mainstream crypto games, and they build on Ronin. And I'm not betting on every game out there, right? That's too much and too risky. But to bet on the blockchains, yeah, that's definitely not a bad idea. Yeah, like I said, Certified Crazy, Shrapnel, also in my list. It's been, I want to say it's quite stable, but but if you look at the daily chart, it's slowly grinding up. You can probably draw a pretty decent trend line right here, which got broken, by the way. Yeah, it got broken. So, come on, pack it up, man. Yeah, SNFTS goes with CDFI. Solana is holding up very well, by the way. Solana had a major uptrend, as you all know, and it did not retest these levels as well yet. I would be surprised if we don't see at least a $47 Solana again. And even at that level, I won't be interested in it. But, well, maybe I am. Maybe I'm, because I had my whole portfolio worked out. Like, okay, the safer bets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, this, that. But fuck am I gonna do with Ethereum? Like, I hate it. I hate the chain. It's not fast. It's not cheap. It doesn't work for me. So why would I invest in the token? Just because it's the blue chip and it has the first mover advantage? I'm not saying that Solana will be the Ethereum killer, but yeah, technical wise, it killed Ethereum a long time ago already, right? And the price doesn't really reflect that, but in my opinion, unpopular opinion, Ethereum is way too overpriced. It should be way lower cap. Ethereum doesn't deserve to be this high, but it's a blue chip. It's just how it works, man. I know. Spartan X on my list as well, doing great. Yeah, Superverse, I've drawn this line, but it's not perfect because, not to just refit my lines all the time, but we had this resistance here and here. We can basically also draw it here. Superverse is, it had a great pump as well. But it's not that I think like, okay, this is completely breaking out yet. We should also recognize that it came from far, right? Came from far, from $4.60 to 7 cents, right? Fucking hell. So, yeah, I don't know. It has to do a little bit better than this, though. Ultra not doing much. Ultra's time will come. Veracity also one of the laggers. Laggers. Although not really. It had its pump already, and now the rest of the market is doing it. So it was basically a front runner. Whack Me Games, interesting project, man. Interesting project. I tried to get one of the founders of Whack Me Games, Scott, on the channel. Really good, cool guy. They have an amazing, project running, and I think that Whack Me Games could be very valuable in the future. I'm just not comfortable buying something that just pumped 3x, right? That's more it. So I rather miss out than buy that. Now, other than that, I do have my moonshot watch list, which I am lately going over on the Fomotion channel. So I'm using that channel again. There's a link down below. There I basically go over all the moonshot coins in my moonshot watch list. I'm gonna put it on my other screen right now to just see what else is there. But there I'll go in depth about each and every one of these tokens. One token that I'm looking at is blockchain bets. Why? Well, if you are a member of our Patreon, you have seen that Alex Becker has been buying this shit. And just when I got the notification, I felt like, man, okay, I'm gonna buy some blockchain bets. And it's doing really well. It's doing really well over the last 30 days. It went completely stable, right? And all of a sudden, it like boom, it did a 3x right there, right? So I can show you. And this is what I do, right? I invest a little bit of money in every one of these projects. Like this one, for example, I invested $800. It's now worth almost $1,500. And what I do is usually with this moonshot portfolio, as soon as I have a 2x, I'm gonna take my initial out and I'm gonna let the rest ride, and I put that initial back into something that I think is interesting by then. For example, if you look at this one has been doing really well. GameSwift, right? I've bought GameSwift at 8 cents, again at 11 cents, and at 25 I sold, right? I sold. And I have put in $1,300. I took $1,700 out, so I took my initial out and a little profit, and I still have $1,900 in the project for completely free, basically. So that's what I'm doing, and that's a good way to build a portfolio with, at a certain point, zero risk, because you have your initial back already, right? So if you think that's interesting, you can subscribe to the Fomotion channel. I'm gonna leave a link down below. Go check it out. But these are some things that I'm looking at. Again, I'm still expecting a pullback in the market. Not because these projects are bad or anything like that, but yeah, I know. I mean, Bitcoin pushing resistance right here. I've showed you it in one of the latest videos, right? The other chart, altcoins, major resistance right here. If you look at altcoins domination, major resistance right here. Total 3, major resistance right here. And let's turn it around a little bit. USDT dominance, support. So yeah, everything tells me like, hey, come on, give us a little pullback. And that's the pullback where I'm gonna ape in a little bit more into these projects. So if you're interested in finding out about what I'm buying, when I'm buying, etc., like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Thanks for watching, and tomorrow again, very interesting video about 7 games, undervalued or unreleased tokens on the Avalanche chain. See you then.